What's going on, YouTube people? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you a tactic testing video. Now, I've been away from doing these for quite a while, but recently I had somebody pop up in the comment section of one of my videos and they requested this tactic in particular. Well, I'm not 100% sure it's this tactic, but because there are quite a few of the same named tactics. But today we're going to be testing out the Beowulf Knap 442. The person in question was Blodorn Die, and they said they wanted to see this tactic tested with both Liverpool and West Ham. So in today's video, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to show you the tactic, run through all of the positions, show you the in possession, the out of possession, the in transition, and then we are going to break down some of the results for both Liverpool and West Ham. Right then, let's kick things off by going through these positions. We're going to start off with a sweeper keeper that is set to defend. On the left-hand side, you have a wing-back that is set to support. You have two ball-playing defenders, the one on the left looking like this, the one on the right looking like that. Both of those are set to defend. On the right-hand side, you have another wing-back who is set to support. On the left-hand side of the midfield, you have a winger who is set to attack. You have a deep-line playmaker who is set to support. A box-to-box midfielder who is set to support. And on the right-hand side, you have another winger who is set to attack. And finally, at the top of the pitch, you have two advanced forwards. The one on the left will look like this. The one on the right will look like that. Okay, so as I said, this is a requested tactic, so we are going to run through. Its exact name is the ME23.2 Beowulf Knap 442 WAFP 104 ECCC. So I'm presuming Knap labels up his tactics in a specific way so he knows exactly what they are. This one is called that. Bit of a mouthful, but there you go. Its tactical style is a custom Tilper set tiki-taka. Its mentality is balanced. Its in possession will look like this. Its in transition will look like this. And its out of possession will look like this. So slightly different to the normal videos because West Ham and Liverpool are in the same league. What I'm going to do is when we jump to the results, we're just going to have a single look at the Premier League. We're going to then break it down into Liverpool and West Ham, but you are obviously going to see how both teams get on. So let's jump into those results and show you exactly how Liverpool and West Ham get on playing the Beowulf 442. Let's kick off the results by having a little look at how Liverpool got on first. Well, obviously in the Premier League, you're going to see how both teams have got on. And we can see that Liverpool have won the Premier League. They have scored 82 points with a goal difference of 52. But most surprisingly, West Ham finishing as runners-up with 76 points and a goal difference of 34. We're going to break down Liverpool first. We will go to West Ham in just a moment. If we go in-depth in the Premier League to look at how Liverpool actually got on. So they played 38. They won 25. Look at some of those results. 6-2 against Tottenham, 4-2 against Crystal Palace, 5-0 against Leeds. Drew 7 games. They lost 6. Had a 52 goal difference and finished on 82 points. There, Darwin Núñez scored 24 goals. Crazily, Kurt Zouma 21. Darwin Núñez a 7.65 average rating. Kurt Zouma 7.39. Jared Bowen led the way with assists with 22 and Trent got 15. We had Darwin Núñez with 6 Player of the Match awards. Also Mo Salah with 6. Alisson 16 clean sheets, and Lucas Paqueta got 14 yellow cards. Just turning our attention back to the league and breaking down West Ham's season then, impressively finishing in second place. 38 games were played, 23 of those were won. Again, look at some of those results. 4-3 against Arsenal, 4-3 against Leeds, 5-2 against Everton. They too drew 7, they lost 8. Had a goal difference of 34 and they finished on 76 points. A very impressive performance in the Premier League for this tactic. Liverpool in the Champions League were knocked out in the semi-finals by AC Milan. If we have a little breakdown of how they got on. So in the group stage, they were drawn in the group with Bayern, Inter and Olympiacos. They won all 6 of their group games with an 11 goal difference and 18 points. Darwin Núñez got 3 Player of the Match awards. Robertson got 5 assists in a competition that they couldn't go and win despite that perfect record in the group stage. So I've missed a stage. In the round of 16, they were drawn against Atletico. They won 6-5 on aggregate. In the quarterfinals, they were drawn against Napoli, where they drew 1-1 after 2 legs, but won on penalties. And in the semi-final, they were knocked out by Milan, where they lost 4-2 on aggregate. If we go back and look at the FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 4th round by Manchester United. They were winners of the Carabao Cup. If we go and look at their cup run to get through and win that. So if we start off at the 4th round, you can see they beat Chelsea 3-0 in the 4th round. In the quarterfinals, they won 1-0 against Brentford. In the semi-finals, they won 6-4 on aggregate against Tottenham. And in the final, they beat Arsenal 3-0 to claim another Carabao Cup, which is successfully defending that trophy. Cody Gakpo got 5 goals. We had Alisson with 4 clean sheets, Fabinho with 3 yellow cards, and Mo Salah getting 2 Man of the Match awards there. Fortunately for Liverpool, they did kick off the season as runners-up in the Community Shield, and they lost that to Manchester City. Go into the data hub and have just a little look at how Liverpool got on. If you throw up their general performance graph, you can see goals per game 2.45, non-penalty expected goals per 90 2.05, goals conceded per game is 1.08, shots per game 17.61, shots on target ratio 44%, pass completion ratio is 83%, tackles won ratio is 73%. There are a few other stats there. If you want to look at all of the stats that are on the screen in detail, please pause the video. If we have a little look through the schedule just to show you how they got on across the season. So they had some good runs of form where they went unbeaten for quite a while before losing to Notts Forest, which is a bit of a strange one. And then again, a good stretch of games where they were winning in both the Champions League, the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. They then lost to Brentford in the Premier League. They lost to Tottenham in that semi-final first leg before overturning that in the second leg. And then they had a bit of a wobble here against Manchester United, where they lost in the FA Cup 4th round replay, lost 6-0 to Arsenal in the Premier League, which is a bit of an outlier, and they lost 3-1 to Atletico in the Champions League round of 16 first leg. They also lost to Chelsea in the Premier League, and of course they lost to Napoli 1-0 in the Champions League quarter-final first leg, before 2 defeats towards the end of the season, 1 against Newcastle and 1 against Milan. But all in all, it didn't really matter because Liverpool have won the Premier League. Moving across then to have a little look at West Ham's season. Now, we already know they finished a fantastic 2nd place in the Premier League with 76 points. But looking at the rest of their competitions, they got to the Europa Conference League final just as they did in real life. But unfortunately for them, they couldn't go the final step like they did a couple of days ago in real life. They finished runners-up in the Europa Conference League. Let's have a look at how they got to the final. So starting off in the group stage, if we look at all of the groups, West Ham are drawn in Group A. They played against Nice, Shamrock, Dinamo Batumi. They finished top of the group, also winning all 6 games with a 31 goal difference and 18 points. And Scamacca got 20 goals in the competition, Ings 13, and Kurt Zouma with another 12 goals. Scamacca got an 8.49 average rating, Zuma 7.96, Ings 7.85, Jared Bowen again 9 assists in this formation, Paqueta with 6, Ings with 6, Scamacca 5 Player of the Match awards with Zuma 3, Fabianski kept 9 clean sheets, and Kurt Zouma finished with 6 yellow cards. Moving on from the group stage, don't think they would have played in the playoff round because they won the group, but they beat Larnacus 9-1 on aggregate in the round of 16. In the quarterfinals, they were drawn against Anderlecht, where they won 6-2 on aggregate. In the semi-finals, they were drawn against Fiorentina, who they beat in the final in real life, and they smashed them 7-2 on aggregate. And unfortunately for them, they were drawn against Cologne in the final. It went all the way to penalties, and they lost out on penalties there. But runners-up in the Premier League, runners-up in the Conference League. It's an amazing achievement for West Ham in this tactic. In the FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 4th round by Arsenal. In the Carabao Cup, they were knocked out in the 4th round by Manchester United. Again, if we go to that data hub and show you just what West Ham's graph looks like, similar to Liverpool's, goals per game 2.34, non-penalty expected goals 1.86, conceded per game 1.45, shots per game a little bit less at 15.45, but shots on target ratio is the same at 44%, pass completion ratio is 83%, tackles won ratio is 72%. Again, there are some other stats there. If you want to have a look at those, just pause the video and you can break those down. Looking at their schedule then, just to see how they got on, there is the end. If we go back to the start of the Premier League, they were a bit hit and miss, but obviously West Ham not being as strong as Liverpool, they had some good results, they had some bad results. Looking at this, they had a 10-0 victory in the Conference League and a 6-0 victory. They did lose to Brentford, Bournemouth, Arsenal. They had draws against Manchester City, which is quite impressive, Brighton. They lost to Man United, Tottenham. They beat Shamrock Rovers 8-0 in the Conference League. Then moving into the second half of the season, they had losses against Crystal Palace, Arsenal in that 4th round replay of the FA Cup. They beat Bournemouth 5-1 before losing to Liverpool, who played the same tactic, so not too bad there. Obviously, when you're matching up two teams playing the same tactic, you're not always sure what's going to happen, but the stronger of the two teams won. And then towards the end of the season, they went on a massive unbeaten run where it started with Newcastle in February, and the only game they lost in that period was in the Europa Conference League final. The one thing that I want to do before I wrap this video up is go and have a look at something absolutely insane that happened. Where is Kurt Zouma? Let's have a little look at him, because what a season Kurt Zouma has had. This is a bit of an outlier. Not sure what's happened here, but 51 appearances, 35 goals, 2 assists. He had an overall season rating of 7.50, 7.96 in the Premier League. I am not too sure what has happened with him, but absolutely fantastic that he has had that season. Not too good for his cat, I suppose, although when he's having a good game he probably doesn't go and kick the cat, but who knows. Whatever's happened in this tactic, he has been a massive outlier. So there it is then. A highly successful tactic. It's got Liverpool to win the Premier League. It has got West Ham into second place. They finished runners-up in the Conference League. You cannot say fairer than that. What a great recommendation for a tactic, and Knap, as always, delivers. Right then, if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel. There's been some crazy figures going on YouTube recently. I'm not too sure what's going on. It goes down in subscribers and then it goes up in subscribers, and it's a little bit crazy. But if you haven't subscribed already and you really want to help the channel out and you've enjoyed the content, please hit that button. It's so important to get interactions with the channel. It really does help me, and I cannot thank you enough. Before you go, don't forget there are other things on the channel. Recently I've been releasing some videos where FM23 will predict what happens in the 23-24 season. There are tutorials on how to install that 23-24 database, and there are generally loads of videos, lots of choice on the channel, something for everybody if you go and have a look. Right then, very much finishing the video off here. I know I've waffled on for long enough. A big thank you for your time and your attention. Hopefully I'll see you on another video very soon.